Good morning. Happy Tuesday. The rain gods have blessed me. It was pouring when I woke up. By the time I got my rain gear on, I got out the door, it was barely sprinkling, and it has essentially died at this point. So you get your Ramblin while Amblin, and I get an audience for my idiocy. Let's talk about depositions. Let's talk about the purpose of a deposition, basically how it's conducted. If you ever sue or get sued, there's a good chance you'll be deposed. In California, I've never done a federal dealy bop, but I believe the federal rules of civil procedure will also allow for depositions of parties just by a notice of deposition. I could be wrong on that. In California, all you have to do is send them a notice of deposition. It can be about, I think, 10 days from the date of notice. Obviously, the respondent can send one out as soon as they are made aware of the lawsuit, as soon as they've been served. Petitioner has to wait until a short period after the respondent's been served to schedule a deposition. Anyway, that's a lot of just the procedural shit. Let's talk about the purpose of it. The purpose of a deposition is to get answers to questions. They don't even have to be the answers that you're hoping for. I mean, obviously, it'd be great if the person you're deposing admits liability, or they admit they screwed up. I mean, that's what you hope for, but that's not the purpose of the deposition. The purpose of the deposition is kind of twofold. Number one, it's to get answers if you can. And number two, it's to lock them into answers, just generally speaking. Now, if you do really good, you get admissions. If you do really good, you get them to admit things on the record. Things like they don't know what 148G means. They don't understand it. Like you're deposing an officer who is relying on 148A. He's relying on just merely the fact that you're filming, nothing else, just the fact that you're filming as suspicion, as evidence. Thank you for wrapping me up, little girl. You did a good job. And you get him to admit he doesn't know anything about it. Then that's a win. That's a win. If you get him to lie about it, then you can, on the stand later on, either you can present evidence that exposes him as a liar, or if he changes his story, you can say, well, either you're lying then or you're lying now. But the purpose of a deposition, like I said, it's to get answers. You're there to get answers. Now, unlike a normal conversation, or say where you invite someone to talk to you on Discord, deposition, there's actually, issues with the law as far as not complying with the deposition, not showing up. There can be sanctions involved, motions to compel, etc., etc. So, and actually it's sufficient to get them not only to appear, but to testify. They get to testify. Fifth Amendment will protect them. They don't have to testify about anything related to the Fifth, or they can take the Fifth. The lawyer can make objections, etc. But again, purpose is to get them to answer questions. It's not to call them an asshole. It's not to argue with them. It's to get them to answer questions. And there's some things that I've observed and learned and done, and I think I would like to point those out to you. One of the things I've learned is from my boss. He always has our clients, when they get deposed, he always asks them to do a very few reasonable things that are almost impossible to do. Number one, wait 5 seconds before you answer. Not only does that give you time to think about the question, it gives your lawyer an opportunity to think about any objections your lawyer may wish to make. If you start answering, you may spill the beans before your lawyer can formulate his objection. As a rather new attorney, I really appreciate that rule because it takes me a little bit longer than, for example, my boss to formulate in my mind what my actual objection to the question is. I know it's wrong, but why is it wrong? What objection am I going to make? So that's a real good rule. Your lawyer will appreciate it. Rule number 2, listen to the fucking question. That's a real hard one. Nobody listens to questions. You're probably not listening to me talk right now, and that's fine. But people certainly don't listen to questions. I'll give you an example. Do you know your birthday? Do you know the date of your birth? Do you know the date of your child's birth? Everybody instantly thinks in their head the actual date, and that's the answer they want to give. But that's not what the question was. The question was, do you know it? The correct answer is going to be either yes, no, or I don't know. So that brings me to my next point is if you can answer yes, no, or I don't know, then do so. And you want to actually say I don't know, not I don't remember. Just say I don't know. Because then you'd be like, well, don't you remember? And you say, well, I don't know. I don't know if I remember. I don't know. You're giving yourself lots of outs, lots of options. Obviously, I'm not suggesting you lie. We don't suggest to our clients that they lie. If you do know, give them an answer. They're entitled to an answer. But if you don't know, just say, I don't know, and then shut the fuck up. You don't have to explain yourself. Just say, I don't know. And then let them ask you, well, why don't you know? And then say, I don't know. I don't know why I don't know. Do you know why you don't understand quantum mechanics? No, I don't know. It's a stupid question. But lawyers can ask a lot of stupid questions. Number 3 is if you can't answer in one word, if you have to answer in more than one word, if you have to answer in sentences, then take your time. There's no time limit in deposition as far as how long you need to, or how fast you have to answer. And it doesn't show up in the transcript how long it took you to answer. So if it takes you 10 minutes just sitting there thinking, trying to figure out how to answer the question, do it. Take your time, think about how to answer the question, and answer it in one sentence. If you can't answer it in one sentence, then you didn't think about it hard enough. Go back and think again. And that's to keep you from volunteering information. You definitely don't want to make it easier on the opposing counsel, the guy who's asking you questions. You don't want to make it easier on him. Your best case scenario is if that guy shows up across from you who's asking you questions and he has a list of questions prepared. That's the best. We love that. That's amazing. Those people are naive, stupid. I mean, maybe it works for some of them. I haven't seen an effective deposition yet using a list of questions. They get locked into their list. They get an answer to one question and then they move to the next. Well, what if there's a brilliant follow-up question? Sometimes they catch it, sometimes they follow up, but a lot of times they get locked into their little list of questions. I gotta ask the next question on my little list of questions. What my boss has instilled in me and what I have learned is that you go in, number one, knowing the case, knowing the general idea, the things that you need out of it, the elements, whatever. You're looking for answers to questions that are going to be useful in court. And you start asking questions and you go where it leads you. I mean, you might end up asking about the opponent's grandma's bank account. All of a sudden, that might be something that's useful information, that's necessary information. And if you had your little list of questions, you may never have gotten there. So, At a deposition, your goal isn't to try to make the deponent look bad. It isn't to try to prove to the deponent that the deponent was wrong. It's to get answers to questions. And now if you take all of that and you figure out what I'm actually talking about, then good on you. If from all that you just think, wow, you didn't call him an idiot enough, then you're pretty fucking retarded. I got the admissions. When I talked to High Desert, I got the admissions that I wanted. Listen to the admissions he gave me. Think about what I'm interested in. He doesn't know anything about the law. He doesn't know anything about how much it costs to run the San Francisco County Sheriff's Department. He doesn't know how much revenue they bring in. He doesn't know, he doesn't know, he doesn't know, he doesn't know, he doesn't know. Now, he was being polite. He was being respectful. I have no reason not to be polite and respectful. I'm getting the answers that I want. He's not just being an asshole. Obviously, if you've watched other ones of my interviews, I will mirror the attitude that I get. I'm sure that Constitutional Corner can verify that. If you come in respectful, you'll get respect back. Unless you're a fucking retard, in which case, well, all bets are off. Sovereign citizens, people being idiots just for the sake of being idiots, very low tolerance for them. I don't got time in my day for that bullshit. You have every right to speak. I have every right to tell you exactly in no uncertain terms how fucking retarded you are. But if I am looking to converse with you and you are offering me intelligent responses, and for those of you who think that that High Desert's responses weren't intelligent, well, maybe you're just a little more snooty than I am. I thought his responses were far superior to, for example, Snooker Bees. Anyway, I hope that makes it clear. If you didn't get what I was doing and why I was doing it, you're probably retarded. If you think that my goal should have been to call High Desert a retard or an idiot, well, then you're retarded. You're an idiot. And if you think my goal is to use his answers to show him to be aggressive and everything, well, then I don't think you listened to my first set of questions in where I started asking him about that, and then I realized that it was the wrong forum for that. I can't show you what he was doing, why he was doing it. That's why I backed out of it. It would have been a waste. It would have been a, yeah, you're being an asshole, no, I'm not. It wouldn't have gotten anywhere. It wouldn't have resolved anything. I know the audience listening on Pound Sand's channel can't see that I dropped a link to where you can complain about the police department or the sheriff's department. I dropped the link for that. While he was talking, a 2-second Google search brought me exactly to where you can file a complaint on the police or on the sheriff. It's amazing. But you couldn't see that at home. There is a reason to watch it on my Discord. Not only can you ask questions, but if you feel like you need to call someone an asshole when they're done talking to me, well, my Discord's the right place to do that. A lot of people get called asshole on my Discord. And generally they deserve it. Anyway, I think I beat that horse to death. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go home and peel out of my PVC now. Have a great day.